Hello everyone. Welcome you once again to the YouTube channel of Farooq Higher Secondary School. Myself, Nabisat Baby, having an experience of 24 years of teaching, I am ready here for the online classes. So students, please be attentive and listen to the lecture and also do the work allotted in the exercise page. So I am sure that you got two or more than two classes in English by Jamshina, teacher of the same institution. So she just started with Unit 1, first lesson. So anyhow, it will be boring if I repeat the same thing for you. So let me go to the next lesson, and it's not a lesson, it's a poem, Any Woman. And as you know, let me give a small introduction about the poem that I am going to do. So in Unit 1, we saw that the whole unit of the plus 2, first unit of the plus 2 text is about women empowerment, emancipation of women, and strengthening the women to face the challenges of today. So this is not an old or new topic, old or new issue. This is a continuing saga to empower the women. So anyhow, we'll have to go through a poem about a mother, the connection of a mother to a child, to her family, her commitment to the society, and so on. It's a wonderful poem written by an Irish poetess, Catherine Tynan. So the heading, as I told you, is Any Woman. But you can relate this any woman to all women around the world, and relate this woman to yourself, your mother, your sister, your grandmother, your aunt, whatever, an elderly woman in your family. So the poem is about the lady Catherine Tynan is no ordinary a woman. So she has to her credit many novels and many verses. And she's so sensitive in her approach, so sensitive in her approach as a writer, and she touches the heart of the readers. So this poem also is one of her benchmark poetry, and in this she speaks about the tenderness, the softness, and also the pampering way of a mother when she handles a whole family. And as you saw in the last lesson, without a woman, a family or a house is incomplete. So the same thing. And here we can see this poetess. She is not speaking in the words of a weak person. She's so strong. So she wants to ascertain that women are not less than men. Okay, students, as I told you, the poem Any Woman is about the relevance of a woman, an elderly grown-up woman in a family. So you all know that without a woman, without an elderly woman in a family, the house is incomplete. So in this poem, Catherine Tynan doesn't want to say that women are the weaker section of the society. Actually, she wants to ascertain. Her language is so assertive, so dominant, and she's so confident to say that mother is everything in the family. Even in the absence of a father, a mother can manage manifold tasks. At a time, she is able for multitasking. So you would have seen your own mothers working hard in your houses, how they manage everything from A to Z, from top to bottom, and from 1 to 100, they work without any complaint. So you can see mothers, the quality of any mother is their self-effacing image. They forget about themselves and they sacrifice their own life for the well-being of the family members. See, can you just imagine, students, without your own mother in your family? See what all tasks your mother is doing. She is cooking, she is cleaning for you, she is making all the complete areas clean, and she's looking after the elderly, sick. If your grandfather, for example, your grandmother, somebody is sick, she attends them. And she even have to entertain the guest without complaint. Even if she's working or not, that doesn't count. Her attitude towards the family is so ultimate and superb. So any woman is just about such a mother in a family. So I think this poem is so simple for you, so easy that you can understand. And in this poem, you can see there are the figure of speech used by the poem is highly metaphorical. And you know what's the difference between simile and metaphor? Would have known about it in the earlier classes. And what is simile actually? Should I repeat it? So simile is something, it is a kind of comparison made by the poets when two things are compared directly with as and like. And what is metaphor actually? Metaphor is even stronger a comparison. You know, the poet says that this is that and that is this. There is no difference between this or that. So in this poem, the poet says, see, she is the pillars of the house. She is a house building itself, and she is a fire, and she is everything. She is a twist and turn in the family, and she is like a chain. If a chain, to make a chain complete, there should be some, to make the ring, family ring complete, there should be somebody to put all the links together. So the mother says that she is a linking factor. She is a loop that links all the other fragments of the chain. So she says that what is mother's affection? It is her warmth of love. So you would have seen infants, newborns, when they are grown up, there should be a mother's presence. She makes them feel warm with her hands. With her body, she gives a warmth of love and the fire of knowledge, enthusiasm, the light of knowledge. So in this poem also, this poet says that I am the light, I am the love, I am the heat that the children come and warm their hands. And she says that I am the house itself, I am the pillars of the house. So can you imagine a great big structure, a building without pillars? And if the pillars are destroyed by any kind of calamities, you can see the whole building will collapse at a sudden. So without a mother, without a woman, she says that I am the pillar and I am the roof, I am the floor, I am the person who decorates the wall, I am the person who feeds the children, I am the person who protects them. So in this poem, the poem is highly metaphorical. As I told you, she says that I am the knot of love, K-N-O-T, knot. You might be knowing what is knot. You have to tie a knot so that the loose beads of a chain should not loose and skip away. To keep the loose beautiful beads in a chain, there should be knots everywhere. So the mother says that she is a knot of love that keeps all the family members go around us. And it is her responsibility to make sure that no children of hers go in a wrong way, go astray. She says that nobody of my children should go astray, should go in a wrong way, should wander here or there without my care, without my pampering, without my guidance, and without my presence. So she ensures each and every aspect of the life inside a family. And even she has to attend her own husband, her own father, and whatnot. She has a burden of duties, but she has no complaint even without salary. And nowadays, students, you would have seen in the newspapers that so they are called domestic workers, or mothers should get salary for their sacrifice. So there was such a case running in the court, and anyhow, I don't want to agree to that contention. Anyhow, I think that it is an attitude of a lady. A grown-up lady should only can think in a very very vast and open-minded, and she is always with open hands to help all the family members. And students, I'll give an introduction of the poem about the structure of the poem. As you all know, the structure is very important. Why? Because when you write appreciation, you are asked to write appreciation, you are asked to explain, some lines are quoted from the poem, and you will be asked to explain the content of the poem and also the figure of speech. As I told you, I repeat, the main figure of speech in the poem is metaphor. She says that she is the door, she is the door who protects the children from wind and snow. And wind and snow in this poem is used in a very symbolic manner. Wind and snow is the symbol of something. It is a symbol of dangers. It is a symbol of some antisocials who come and attack her children. So she is there for protecting her children, saving her children. She is just like the door that keeps closed to the outsiders, to the intruders. So a mother's presence is so inevitable. Even then I feel so sorry that many of the infants, many of the children, many in the world are motherless. Their mother die at an early age, or they lose a mother unluckily. And you can just see what a fate they have to go through. See, so students, let me give an introduction of the structure of the poem. As you all know, there are 4 stanzas in one, there are 6 stanzas altogether, and in one stanza there are 4 lines. See, so the first line itself is an inclination, is a denotation, how strong, how confident, see, how much energy she wants to ensure that she is everything in the house, the mother. See, she says that I am the pillars of the house, the keystone of the arch. You can see the arch of a building, and she says that she is the central stone of the arch. Only with the strength of the central stone of the arch you can keep the shape of the arch in that manner. She says that she is a keystone. She says that I am the wall of the house, I am the roof of the house, I am the door of the house, and I am even the fire that kindles love, light, energy and warmth. See, so when you go through the poem, you can see there are 6 stanzas, and in every stanza there are 4 lines, and from stanza 2 you can see there are ending rhymes, end rhymes. That means you know what is end rhyme. See, maybe line number 1 and line number 3 will be ending with the same sound, maybe consonant or vowel sound, and line number 2 and line number 4 of the poem. So all these are quite familiar, so I need not repeat this. So anyhow, so I think I should read the last stanza. You may read the other stanzas at home. Anyhow, I'll be reading the last stanza. Why? Because it is so significant, and I have to explain the attitude, the magnitude of her love of her mother. So she says in the last stanza, I am their wall against all danger, their door against wind and snow. As I told you, wind and snow is symbolic here. Wind and snow stands for all dangers, all unwanted negative elements that one may have to face in one's life. And see the last 2 lines, so beautiful but so powerful. You can say this at the same time beautiful and powerful. And you see what is a mother's mind, what's a mother's love, self-effacing love. See, what's the last 2 lines? Last 2 lines is totally different from the all other lines. And why? I'll read the last 2 lines. That couplet, thou whom a woman laid in a manger, take me not till the children grow. See, this is a prayer to God, and she being a Christian, she is just praying to Jesus Christ. So she reminds that Jesus Christ, oh Jesus Christ, you were born to a lady, you were born to a mother, and your mother gave birth to you in a manger, in a stable. And you know what's a manger? Manger is a trough where you put the grass and all for the cows to eat. So she reminds Jesus, she calls Jesus, oh my dear Jesus, you were born into a stable and you were laid in a manger. One mother gave you birth, and as your mother gave you birth, I too have given birth to my own children. So please have mercy upon me. Please have mercy upon me, and please don't take my life till my children are grown. At least till my children are grown, let me live. Just elongate my life. You just permit me to live. At least till they are matured and grown up to be, to work free, to live by their own. So that is what she pleads to God. So it is highly powerful, at the same time so beautiful. You can see how tender, how close she is to her children. See the tone, the whole, I told you from the first line to the just before the last two lines, the poem has the same style. She says that I am this, I am that, I am, but last two lines she becomes very humble and very powerful. She says, thou whom, thou you know, you. See, it's a poetic version. You, thou whom a woman laid in a manger, take me not till the children grow. See what a powerful poem. You can connect your own mother when you read this poem about a mother. Any woman is applicable to all mothers in the world, I think. Such a beautiful poem. Okay, dear students, I think you would have enjoyed the poem, as well as it is something that you have to keep in mind. You have to love your mother. So that's what the powerful message the poet wants to convey to you. No doubt, mother cannot be replaced by any other people, anywhere you go. So you have to be full of commitment and love to your mother. And in this poem, she emphasizes the point that women are not less than men. They are strong, are emotionally strong. If men are physically strong, women are emotionally strong. That's what we get from this poem. And I think in the next class, we'll be discussing all the important questions, all the discussion areas, so that you'll get deeply into the poem again. Thank you all.